Welcome to CAS 109 Digital Presentations, Columbia Gorge Community College, The Dalles, Oregon. Mrs. Hughitt, instructor. This is going to be your week 3 video. And not only will it give you directions, but it's going to show you how to do a couple of things. So let's get started. Oops, let's get that pulled back up. So you've got your objectives. Now, if you are pretty good at PowerPoint and you've spent some time with it, this is a challenge one. If you're kind of new to PowerPoint, you want to just skip this video. These are extra support ones. We will be using a program called Paint as part of the assignment this week. And if you've never opened Paint, never used Paint, this is how you find it. And I did something a little different in this one. I kind of piled the videos up. I'm not quite sure why they're not lined up, but that's beside the point. So this is Windows 10, Windows 8, and Windows 7. So depending on which version you use, open the video that you need for that particular operating system. If you're a Mac, you don't really have a Paint program, but apparently there is a way for a Mac to get the paintbrush, and it is a free Paint software program for use on a Mac computer. So you can either go to the college and use a Windows machine and use the regular Paint program, or you can use the paintbrush or paintbrush tool and get that software onto your Mac, your choice. You've got your overview, and then I've included some videos that go over the things that we'll be doing this week and how to do it. So we're going to be inserting clip art. We're going to be putting pictures in and doing some formatting of pictures after they're in there, including possibly some cropping. You're going to be putting some frames and borders on them. You are going to create a second project that's going to use your photo album technique in PowerPoint. And then here's some information on how to make paint work. Hopefully you're a better artist than I am, because my example one is pretty sad, and we'll go from there. These are your written directions, so let me pull those up. Let's get that back out of the way. So you're going to go back to my bio from last week and put some bells and whistles into it. So what you need to do, you need to change the theme to one of your choice. You need to add at least one clip art. You can put more in. You need to add an image of yourself and apply picture formatting. Now, everybody says, well, what is picture formatting? What are you talking about? So if I was going to add that picture, I have one I pulled up of me, and it's sitting on my desktop. So I'm going to see if I can find it there. Probably this one. Obviously, it's way too big. So first thing I'm going to do is grab the corners and get that thing sized some. Second thing I'm going to do is change the look of it some. I need to crop it. So I'm going to double click, hit the crop, and I'm going to take some of this extra out of this. And I can trim it down kind of wherever I want it. Once I have it, I can decide what I want to do with frames. I can go circular. That one doesn't actually work too bad. I can do a border, since I'm wearing a dark blue sweatshirt because I was freezing to death that day. I can go with dark blue. I can change the weight of the border. And if this goes away, sometimes it does, all you have to do is click Format right there, and the tools come back. And under border, I can change the weight of it. That seems a little heavy on the border. There we go. And no, I wasn't smiling in that picture at all. I was riding sideways on a train, and I was not terribly impressed. And I can play with that a little bit more. I'm still not real happy with that border. So I go back to the format tools, and maybe I want to go back, and maybe we'll go with a compromise there. That thicker one actually was almost better. And I like the one before it a couple of times, so I can ZZ a couple of times, and there we go. And then I can decide how I want to size it, where I want to place it, how you want to do that. All right. So that's what you're going to be doing with this. Now you can choose any, and once you click on the pictures, you get that format. You can choose any of the framing. You can choose some picture effects. You can do some shadowing, reflections, some glows, some soft edges. You do have choices with some of those that you can apply to your picture if you want to. So back to what you need to do. And as I said, you may need to crop it or resize it depending on what your image is you're working with. Then you need to create a drawing in Paint and add it to a new slide. So you're going to be pulling that thing back up again. And you're going to add a new slide here someplace. And I'm going to switch it to a blank one. And I'm going to insert a picture. Again, it's on my desktop. And this is a very sad looking set of mountains. And again, I may want to play with sizing it some. And then I'm going to be saving it, obviously. And then we can try, oh, and I was going to show you one other thing. I need to open that again. File, open. There are some other tools you can use in here that do help you with placement. You can turn on, hang on a second, gotta get the right button. There we go, it was right in front of me and I didn't see it. You can turn on the ruler. You can turn on grid lines, which kind of say, oh, well, maybe I should set that down so I line it up on a grid line. Or guides, and the guides will show you where center is. Sorry to bark at you. Now, those don't print, those don't email, those are simply on your machine as you do it. So if you turn those on, you don't have to worry about getting those all turned off before you submit it. All right, let's get that out of the way too. So those are going to be the things you need to do with that. And then you're going to do your photo album project, and that's a whole different project. So let's talk a little bit about that. I always suggest you copy. Be careful you don't just drag and drop. If you drag and drop pictures to a folder, you have probably drugged them from where they are and put them in that new folder, which means you just lost all your pictures. So you're going to want to right-click and copy them, and then right-click and paste them, or Control-C, Control-V, until you've put together a folder of 6 pictures. You will do 5 of them into the slideshow, and then 1 of them will be used as your ending slide as a background, and it needs to be inserted as a background. And you're going to be changing your backgrounds. There's supposed one of these, she talked about doing backgrounds. I think it's that one. She went into backgrounds and different types of backgrounds in it. So what else do you need to do with that? You'll have a total of 7 slides. You'll need 6 pictures ready, but you'll put 5 of them in through the album. The topic is your choice. I chose the dogs we've had over the years. I am actually missing one dog. She was before digital days. And I need to change the backgrounds to match or go with the image on the slide. And then of that, I need to have at least one of those a gradient color, at least one of those a texture, and I need an image for the last one, and that will be that 6th slide. So I'm actually going to do that for you. Yes, there is a video right here on how to do it, but I'm also going to walk you through it just so we don't have any problems. So we're going to close that. I don't need to save it. We're going to open that, and we're going to go File, New, Blank. And then I'm going to close that and get it out of there because I don't need that one. And you're going to insert photo album. It's a little bit different process, so I'm going to hit that. And then I have to tell it where to go find it. And I had it on my desktop, and album pictures. And I'm going to insert 5 of them. And I'm going to keep the 6th one for the background on the last slide. I'm using the Control key to hold it, and I'm clicking each one I want, and I'm going to do the insert. Now it's going to say fit to scale, and I can change that. I want it to fit to scale, and it has now created it. I do not like those ribbons on, or all those rulers and grid lines and guides, so I'm going to turn them off, but that's totally up to you. And then I need to go through and I need to play with this. So I need to go dogs in our family. I like case title capital. And this is Mr. Denali. He was our Malamute. He made it to almost 9 years old and cancer caught up with him. And I want to insert a text box. And I'm going to draw it. And let me see what I can do with the background. Design, format background. I think I'm going to do a texture on him, but I don't want that texture. That's not the one I'm looking for. So I'm going to open it up and see which one I want. No, not really that one either. Yeah, and that picture is definitely blurry. If I was doing this for real, I would go back and find a better picture. That one did not stretch well. It blurred. And then we're going to move down here to Mr. Tundra Doggy. And maybe we'll do a gradient fill with Tundra. And we're going to do maybe a preset here, but I'm going to adjust that a little bit. And I'm going to change its direction. Still not real happy with that. Yeah, I think I like that one a little better. And if I was going to do this for real, I would probably play with this some more and decide. There. Now a little bit more of a gray and a preset there, and I've added a couple other colors, and I've played with it a little bit, and I'm happier. Now on this one, I think I just want to do a solid fill, and I also think I want to maybe crop the picture a little bit. There's a lot of picture, and the dog's in the middle, and the ground is pretty, but we kind of lose the dog. So I'm going to double click it, get the crop, grab this corner arrow, and bring it down so that we have more of just the dog, but I've kept the color. Now we're going to set the dog up a little higher, and we're going to enlarge, and hopefully the picture's a high enough resolution that that is not going to be a problem. And now notice the dog has gotten a whole lot closer. Now I can be adding other types of things to this if I want to. I can be putting some borders on this, so like maybe I want to do a nice little frame for her. Maybe I'll do that one for her. And I want to do a solid fill, and I want to use the eyedropper, and I think I'm going to use that color that goes with it. And now the frame shows on it a little bit, and the reflection. Now this is Mr. Chugach. He's our current Malamute, and you can, if you look at the two dogs, you can tell there is definitely a difference in their faces. Otherwise, it looks like we just have another Malamute there. And on this one, I don't like that color, but I'm going to do a pattern fill, and I'm going to pick up the brown in the tile, and I'm going to pick up the tan in the dog, and I'm going to do that. And then I think I'm going to do a little bit of a crop on this one as well, so that we don't have quite, oops, leave his ear, quite so much floor showing. We'll set him in the middle of it. We'll stretch him a little bit. As big as he is, he really doesn't need much real stretching, I'll tell you that. And he still thinks he's a lap puppy. And what do I want to do with the frame on this one? Some I always like better than others. There's some I really am not terribly thrilled with. But now that I've got that, that white really doesn't go. So I want to do the picture border. I want to bring that eyedropper again, and I want to pick up this dark brown. And that's a really good way to color code it. But now I'm not sure if that picture's on the edge of it or if it's off. I think it's off. But when I pop it up in full view, you can tell it is cut off at the top. So I put it in presentation view and went, uh-oh, I need to size down a little bit. And yes, those are all things I will look at. Now, if I have an edge at the top, I probably should have an edge at the bottom. Again, that's one of those kind of design things that we're focusing on. And let's see if that looks any better balanced. Side to side. And again, this is when that view guides could come in handy, or the grid lines could come in handy. So I have 1.5, 1.5, top, bottom. And it's fairly well centered now. Now I did his name on this one, and we lost his name because it went in white. So I need to go back, and I need to, I think I'll just use black. And this is Tundra. He is a Sheltie, and I need to insert a text box. And again, it's coming in white, but I don't think, well, that's a good choice. So I'm going to go with black again. And this is Glacier. And I will stick with that. Actually, her full name is Glacier Bay. And this is Chugach. Now you notice there's one here, but it brings up a little different box. Actually, and I don't have as good a luck with it. So I just go insert and use that text box. And now I've got it inserted, but not where I want it. So I'm going to move it. And obviously I don't want to cut his name in half, so I have to size it. And I think I want to match that dark brown frame. And again, I can size these so they're bigger or smaller. So I also want to go up here, and Snow King was our first dog. He was the one that raised my kids. And then we had Tundra, and then Denali, and then Glacier, and now Chugach. Now, if I want to do something different here, I can play with a gradient fill, picture text fill. There's one gradient fill I really like, and I don't know if they still have it. Rectangular. They had a really cool star pattern at one point. And obviously we lost all that because it's in the wrong colors. And yes, I could go play with colors. In fact, I probably would. I would probably go in here and say, okay, let's get this really dark orange and use that. All right, so we kind of have that, but then our last slide has to have that sixth one. So we're going to add, go to the bottom, and I'm going to add one more slide. It's a blank already. I am going to change it solid fill so it is white to start with, and then I'm going to add a picture. Oh, and I have to insert picture from the source. And I'm going to browse. It's on my desktop, and it is the cat. And as you can see, it's now the background. It doesn't slide. And since the presentation is dogs, I wanted to make sure I add the kitty cat. He was the boss of the dogs, and the dogs knew it. And I am not really happy with how well that shows. So we're going to do, I am Jake, I am the cat, and we no longer have him either. And now I need to save it. Now, did I do everything I need to do? Well, I need to go in here. Did I change the background? Yes. Did I use at least one gradient color? Yes. Did I use at least one texture? Yes. Did I add an image for the ending slide background that's not found in the others? Yes, it's the cat. Set the document properties? Nope, need to do that. And my authors are already set there because of the way my computer is configured, so I'm good there. I need to make sure I go back and hit save again, or I'll lose any changes I made to that. And then I need to pop it up and run through it. Always go to presentation view and run through one last time. Oh, Snow didn't get his name. Okay, there's Tundra. I don't like that picture. I have to fix it, but that's okay for what we're doing. And I missed Snow King's picture, and I didn't change his background. So I need to design background. And Mr. Snow, let's do a gradient with you, and let's do yellow. No, let's not. Let's do, no, let's not. Maybe we'll do a texture, since I'm not liking what I'm finding there. And I want to format that picture. He definitely needs a border of some sorts. Too heavy. There, that's a good one for him. And then I need to insert the text box. And I need black because it doesn't show up. I have it at the very narrowest spot, and I made it long, so I really want to. His name was Nicholas Snow King. By the breeder, we just called him Snow most of the time. I'm going to turn my grids and all that off now. One more time through, make sure I'm happy. There we go, we got a background. Some don't have the borders on them, and I could go back and fix that. But you get the idea of what you're to do. Hopefully that will get you through this week. So let's hop back here for just a second. You will do the updated bio with all the bells and whistles that are listed on this list added to it. And then you will make your album. Any topic of your choice that's college appropriate can be done. And you will do your journal after you've done that. You have a form and your checklist to make sure you have everything done. So I think that should get you through this week.